Tomorrow, January 18, the largest immigration raid ever recorded in the United States will begin. Supermarkets, stores, workplaces, construction sites, and high-traffic areas will be the first inspection points. It doesn't matter whether you have documents or not. Agents are already deployed, moving silently, and the operation begins in less than 24 hours. Internal sources revealed a secret operation directed personally by Gregory Bovino. The protocol will be aggressive. They will surround supermarkets during peak hours, block all exits, conduct checks, carry out identification person by person, and detain anyone without original documents again, passport, birth certificate, or green card. Copies will not be accepted under any circumstances. The operation will last 72 consecutive hours, day and night, without pauses. Even more concerning, there are already reports of wrongful detentions, including permanent residents and citizens. Share this information with all undocumented people you know. Protect yourself now. It starts tomorrow.
What's really going on with immigration, right? Someone asked me yesterday, what is going on in America? Here's what's going on. You have a federal government, a new federal government that has a zero tolerance policy towards immigration, legal immigration as well as illegal immigration. And so this zero tolerance policy is flowing from every angle, right? You have policies that are dictating to ICE to do one thing. Then you have policies that they're putting in place to the U.S. military. They're tapping into military budget to do various things with immigration. So they're bringing in the military. Then they're attacking the states and local government.
Hello YouTube family, I hope that everyone is doing fine. Today's conversation is not about one community, one nationality, or one group of people. It's about how America's immigration system is being pushed to a breaking point. It is how political decisions made in Washington are reshaping the lives of immigrant communities across the country. From African and Middle Eastern communities to Latino and Caribbean families, the impact is spreading, and it is important we talk about it honestly, calmly, and without blame. Welcome back to Polito Realities, a space where we handle honest discussions about the United States politics, immigration, and global power dynamics, and how they affect real people. If you are new here, take a minute to subscribe, to like, and to share today's video. Before then, watch with me a few clips that I have so that we can see how people are reacting to what is happening in the United States.
I think we are likely to see a return to family separation. I would not be surprised if we see children in cages. I think that the border process is going to get stricter and slower. We know that refugees, immigrants, asylum seekers are going to have to wait on the Mexico side of the border, that they will be detained on the Mexico side of the border. And I think that it is very likely that we are going to see folks with legitimate refugee, asylum-seeking concerns be denied. A lot of times we hear that people ought to just get in line and do things the right way, but it is tough to get in line when there is no line for you to get into. And the reality of all of this is that you have to meet extremely strict requirements to be able to go through these processes. And so, folks, our call from faith is not to be afraid, but to be of help, of love, and support.
So that's why I'm telling you, if you're in Africa, my brothers and sisters, stay in Africa. Don't think I'm telling you because, I'm in America, so I don't want you to come to America. Come if you want to come. You're going to carry your own cross. I wouldn't be there when you come. But you're going to remember everything I tell you. I'm not going to tell you that the American dream is dead, because you can still make it in this country, but it's a lot difficult these days. It is not easy. Even Americans that are experienced now don't have jobs. People are looking for the same jobs that back in the day You did not have to compete for those kinds of jobs, like those warehouse jobs, which are great jobs, don't get me wrong, right? But back in the day, you didn't have to compete as much. But now there are Americans that would not do those jobs in the past. Now they're looking for jobs like those. So the competition is heavy. And that is why I'm telling you, when I shared that video that I shared with you guys, I'm telling you that stay in Africa. I don't care what African country you're from. You're better off in Africa right now than trying to come overseas. You are going to feel the pinch. You're going to feel the burn. Everything is expensive.
I try to keep you guys up to date, but there is so much this morning from yesterday and overnight that... So, first of all, ICE agents are holding some Native Americans hostage until their tribal leaders sign an immigration agreement allowing them to go onto the tribal lands. See, these are sovereign nations. The federal government does not have access to federal lands. The report I heard was that 3 Native Americans are being detained as leverage, basically as a hostage, to try to get the tribal leadership to sign the agreement to allow the feds to come do immigration raids on tribal land. There is a neighborhood in Minneapolis that's on fire this morning because I set off flashbangs and chemical grenades that have started fires in the neighborhood. They tear gassed a house with children in it. There's a video you can go watch where people are being carried out of the house and the bystanders are saying, "Is that a kid? Is that a kid?" That's a kid. One bystander said it appeared that the child had been pew-pewed, but that's not confirmed. We don't know. We know paramedics were carrying this child-sized person out, whether it was from a pew-pew or the tear gas. Either way, there's a child being carried out because of what ICE has done. We saw a video 2 days ago of a man where they literally George Floyded him and then carried him off, and he looked unalived to me. And as of yesterday, he's unaccounted for. And Trump has announced starting February 1st, he is cutting all federal aid to all blue states, which will end in nothing less than the collapse of our system as we know it. Like, not just blue states. If blue states fall, red states are coming with them. Is this enough yet? How is peaceful protesting going to help us here? It's not. It is time to do more. And no one is coming to help us. Go love your neighbor. And not just with your words.
I do not think I will be able to relate to anyone who does not understand the importance of immigration. I feel like it is a common thing for Americans to not understand why immigration is important. My childhood was amazing, and it was not because I grew up in Connecticut, but it was because I grew up by 2 parents who were immigrants into the United States. The different cultures I grew up with are what shaped me into who I am now, and I just could not imagine not having any kind of cultural background. My dad is from Dominica. It's a small Caribbean island. He came to the States when he was 19 to do college. My mom is from Portugal. She's one of 4. Her and all her siblings were born in Mozambique, Africa, because at the time there was some kind of war going on in Portugal. So they were doing their thing, colonizing like usual. She was born in Africa, and then she moved here when she was young, a couple years old. And she actually went to the same exact middle school in high school that I went to. But obviously her experience in America was so different because both my grandparents did not speak English. So she was raised Portuguese. She was not raised American, even though she spent so much time here. My favorite dishes, my favorite memories, my favorite traditions all have to do with the fact that both of my parents are not American. Both of my parents are such hardworking people. They are amazing citizens in this country. And it just baffles me that people think that immigration does not belong in this country. Same thing with my grandparents and them being here and being in the States. I grew up speaking Portuguese with my grandparents, and I was embarrassed. I wrote my college essay, my personal statement that got me into Notre Dame, about being embarrassed of my cultural background growing up because I was surrounded by so many American people that I was embarrassed to not be speaking English, and I was embarrassed to look different. I did not want to embrace my culture because I felt like an outcast, and I felt like whenever I spoke Portuguese in public with my grandparents, people would stare at us. Now I am not ashamed of that, and I am not embarrassed, but it's so sad to me that so many people go through that. And if you are someone who stares in public when someone is not speaking English, or you make someone feel uncomfortable because they aren't speaking English, or they are celebrating their culture and it's not your culture, I genuinely don't like you. I don't like you. I don't need to get to know you. I already know I don't like you. My family and many more families are so amazing and so helpful to this country, and they all deserve to be here. So if you are in support of all of these bans on immigration from different countries, I cannot wait for you to see what the United States looks like once people can't immigrate into here and bring what they are learning and what they're experiencing from different countries and using that to their advantage here in the States. It is going to be boring, education levels are going to go down, and people who are professionals doing their jobs are not going to be as good. And that is my 2 cents.
Hey guys, now is not the time to hang out with the wrong crowd. The only reason I think that the Trump administration has not performed more raids is because they don't have the capacity to house so many people at this time. But they are certainly gearing up to house more people in detention. So don't be one of them. Now is not the time to kick back and go have a smoke, marijuana, or other types of drugs with your friends, your buddies, on the street or in a club or someplace public like that. Now is not the time to engage in those types of activities, okay? If you're a green card holder, you can still be deported for having certain drugs on you, all right? So guys, don't take things casually. Hey guys, now is not the time to hang out with the wrong crowd. The only reason I think that the Trump administration has not performed more raids is
I think it's important to ask ourselves why so many people from underdeveloped nations come here legally or illegally, because a lot of them are coming from countries we helped to destabilize. In South and Central America alone, we've overthrown democratically elected leaders, propped up dictators, and funded death squads in places like Chile, Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Honduras, all to serve our own interests. And those interests include not seeing those countries develop. Many countries around the world have felt our wrath as soon as they started to show signs of progress. Something to think about.
So Trump's immigration raids are escalating very rapidly, and I have information that I would like to get out to the immigrant community. If you don't know, I'm CFH Unfiltered. I'm a combat veteran and former sniper, and I am trying to use my platform for fucking human rights, right? If you're into that kind of shit, shoot me a follow. So I promised people that I would give you information as soon as I get it. And I am not trying to cause panic. I am not trying to scare anybody. That's not the point of my platform at all. I also need to be very careful about what I say. There are some things I can't say. That's just the way it is. But if you are an undocumented immigrant and you have a criminal history, and when I say criminal history, I mean any criminal history at all. Or
America's immigration system is under more pressure than ever. Court backlogs are growing, political debates are intensifying, and immigration has become a tool in national politics. But beyond the headlines, millions of families are being affected. The system was designed decades ago and struggles to keep up with the modern migration challenges, from global conflicts to economic instability and climate crisis. Policies are outdated, and enforcement alone cannot solve these issues. Politics are making the situation even more worse. Immigration is used to mobilize voters rather than addressing real problems. Families live in uncertainty, communities feel stress, and even legal immigrants experience anxiety. Court delays are a huge problem. Cases take years. Children grow up in limbo and trust in the system erodes. A system moving this slowly cannot function properly. Communities across America, the African, Middle Eastern, Latino, Asian, and Caribbean are feeling the impact. Framing immigration as a single group issue is misleading. The effects are national and wide-reaching. Globally, U.S. policy also influences migration patterns. Domestic decisions have international consequences. Ignoring this leads to incomplete solutions. Immigration will continue. The key question is whether the United States will adapt the system to reality or continue using it as a political battleground while communities absorb the damage. This moment requires honest conversations, not fear or blame. Understanding this crisis is the first step toward policies that are practical, human, and sustainable. Solutions must focus on stability, fairness, and long-term impact for all their communities. You have been watching Polito Realities. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Until next time, be blessed and be grounded.